In 2011, to record an album with purely acoustic instruments and expect it to be a commercial success, you have to have a strong idea of what you're doing and a lot of talent to pull it off. On her latest album, Night of Hunters, Tori Amos does it all. And at her packed Cape Town concert, South Africa came along for the ride.
We met American singer-songwriter Tori Amos at Kirstenbosch Gardens, quite in keeping with a woman who looks like a character from A Midsummer Night's Dream. But she's an artist who, along with Kurt Cobain, formed the bedrock of 90s music.
Tori, I believe this is your first visit to South Africa.
It is my very first.
And I mean, you requested the interview here in the Kirstenbosch Gardens. Have you got an affinity to the gardens?
Well, I wrote a song that had many, many, many plants, and I was able to plant all of them in my garden. And my dad and I had a huge battle about it because he thought I was spending too much money designing the garden. And I said, this is the most important thing to me.
There was to be as much botanical talk as musical, with us happily deferring to horticulturalist Monique McQuillan on the finer points of this display of floral diversity that helped earn Table Mountain its proud title as one of the new 7 natural wonders of the world.
These plants here basically make up what we use as our fynbos entity. So you'll find the pincushions, which are part of the protea family, which we're very well known for. They make up a good proportion of our landscape when you look at them on the mountain.
I believe the Proteus is named after the Greek god Proteus, who was famous for shape-shifting.
Yes, exactly that. They come in a myriad of different shapes and sizes, and that's exactly the reason why they've been given that name.
So can you tell us then what's over here?
This is also a pincushion, much like the yellow one we saw down below.
Which color does this plant start off being first?
It starts off as a really crisp yellow, and it ages to red. And with it, it just brings this multicolored hue.
Oh, the bees are really loving it. Good work, guys.
Oh, yes. But you'll note they only go to the young plants, the yellow ones. You won't ever really find them on the red.
At the age of 5, Tori Amos was composing on piano. Earning a scholarship to a conservatory, she fell out with the institution over her interest in rock music. And by high school, she'd written a winning song for the state baseball team.
And Tori, I've been following your career right from the very beginning, and it just dawned on me that it's very similar to the Protea, because it's always transforming. But is this transformation out of necessity?
As you open yourself creatively, you are going to change. It will affect you. Each record does take me to a different place as a person. I'm not the same person that I was when I started that project.
Although crowned by critics as the wizard queen of alternative rock, it was her formal background which provided the blueprint for her sound.
How has your classical training helped you to perform pop and as well as write your own songs?
Studying classical music as a child made me understand sonic architecture in a certain way. I was fascinated in building sonic cathedrals as a child instead of building beach houses. And once you are trained that way, all that I learned as a child came back. That's the language I learned first as a composer.
The great songs are based in truth, and Tori Amos has never shied away from her own stories, writing about everything from love and motherhood to sexual assault and a miscarriage. Her inspiration comes from real experiences.
I love the fact that this is part of South African life, that you grew up here and you were telling me you'd come here as a child, picnics. It's a centerpiece for life.
Tori, when you first started playing music, who encouraged you to become a classical pianist?
I was playing music because I would hear things my mother would put on her record player. When my dad, who's a minister, would go to church, she would bring out her old records and stop being a minister's wife for a few hours and play me these wonderful records. And yet, when they realized I could do this, there were people at the church that said, she needs to be at the conservatory. So I was at the conservatory when I was 5.
I have to ask, those who were instrumental in your early career, were they gutted when you turned to pop?
I made it clear I wanted to be a composer. And they made it clear that women composers, unless you were in the pop field, really weren't part of the boys' club, and that was the reality. So once I understood that, I realized that at 11 years old, I needed to strike out and do something different.
From harmoniums to harpsichords, if it's got a keyboard, she can play it. And since her new album has the piano as its centerpiece, she needs the right one in concert.
Tori, you travel all over the world with your signature piano. That must be quite challenging.
It is challenging, and I wasn't able to bring my Buzendorfer to South Africa. So this is the one that was there at Nelson Mandela's inauguration, I believe, and was played that day, and has been living in South Africa, but not played a whole lot. So she's really getting quite a workout.
With 12 million albums sold and 8 Grammy nominations, naturally everyone has their favorite song.
Being in South Africa, I'm able to take a lot of requests. So I took a bunch just a few hours ago, and then I designed the show around that and the feeling and the day. And
Well, I mean, if I may, can I throw in a request for this evening?
yeah, I'll try.
It'd have to be silent all these years.
She might just come.
It was like watching a young Kate Bush, Cyndi Lauper and Aretha Franklin all rolled into one. But of course, it was the singular Tori Amos.